having another pandemic. It's like hey, we got fucking Hannah. Okay, you know what's jumping in, bro?
Certain date in
I don't know
2020.
what.
March 13th. 2020.
I
should
remember that
add
day,
that
bro.
this mostly applies to people in America. You woke up that Friday morning like every other Friday of that year.
Until school was shut down back then, 6 years.
Either for school or for work. While in school, your friend looks at you and says,
"Yo, Uzi dropped the Turn On Take. You gotta listen to that."
Oh my
you
god.
listen to it while in class to see if it is really hard, and indeed it is. This would be Lil Uzi's last good album, but you don't know that. As the day starts to
2020.
end in school, the principal comes on the PA system and lets everyone know,
Bro.
due to a little virus called COVID-19, school would be closed for 2 weeks. You cheer with your friends,
Actually,
hype
3
that you're
weeks.
basically getting
4
a
weeks
week
and a
break in
full
the middle
month.
of the year for free, not knowing what it will turn into. If you worked a job, you either got an email from your employer that the company would be switching to remote work temporarily, or you got an email that you were fired and to get out immediately. This
Damn.
little virus would then turn into one of the worst pandemics to happen.
2020 was
over
the worst year,
And
bro.
after it
You
ended,
just
the
don't mind
world
the
all
background
promised
stuff.
itself that we'd be prepared and this shouldn't happen not only in our century, but many to come.
Health officials around the world are racing to contain a deadly outbreak of hantavirus that's linked to this cruise ship in the Atlantic.
Hence, what? Are you saying it again? Bro.
Yeah, so if you haven't heard of it by
Crazy
now,
year.
we're having another bit of a virus issue around.
But we cooked.
Even not including COVID, it seems like every couple of years there's always a virus panic hitting the whole world. In the
And
2010s, you had the Ebola pandemic, which happened in Africa, but cases spread all over
It's like
the
a-
world.
I think I
the
remember
most
that back
racist
then, bro.
war, if they interacted with an African person, they would get it and die next week. I gotta admit though, that Ebola song did kind of go hard. You had the measles outbreak in 2019, where a
2019.
record amount of people were getting it around the world. In America, New York got hit the most, and there were 1,200 cases across
God
21
damn.
states. Crazy how this didn't matter because next year's virus would make that outbreak look like a little cakewalk. And now the newest panic we have is this virus called the
Sometimes can eat, God damn it, how you say it? Mutate. It's like a hentai or okay.
Here's some info. Hantavirus has been a thing since the 1950s and was fully identified by
1950.
doctors
This
in
time we prepared, bruh.
1968. There's been
I
cases
can't
everywhere
prepare,
under
son.
the sun since it got identified. It's spread by the worst creatures we know, of course, rodents. And
So
you
you
get
got
it by
Ratatouille.
inhaling their waste in the air or by
Ratatouille is the
directly touching it.
cause of
Don't
this.
know why the you'd be directly touching rat. At that point, you just ask for the death sentence. I don't feel bad. And it's only supposed to be from rodent to human until cases started happening from human to human.
Yeah, we
They
could.
called it the Andes version of the
Andy-
virus, and the
so
first
Andy's
case was
coming.
identified in 1995 of
God
someone
damn.
getting it from human. It happens
was
here and
ads.
there, but it's way more rare than getting it directly from rats yourself. So you may be wondering why everyone's panicking about it. Well, we can fully blame this dumbass who
Bro, why
decided
couldn't
to
make
make
a
a video
full
talking
video,
about
bro?
a hantavirus
Oh.
outbreak on a cruise ship he went
Bro,
on. His
I
name
thought it
is
was
Jake
fake.
Rosemartin, and he decided to go on a cruise with a bunch of other people from different countries. Not
Bro.
knowing that a couple had the virus, they brung it on the ship and
Bro,
all
hell
hell
no.
broke loose. The cruise was not cheap either. Like, they must have been using today's sponsor, Current, to save up for this. If you've ever, people died on the ship
Damn.
from it, and one of the doctors got sick treating someone. So with him panicking because everyone got told to quarantine until further notice, he made
Bro.
an update to the outside world talking about his experience.
I normally wouldn't make a video like this,
Yeah, I saw this on the
but I
news,
feel
bro.
like I need to say something, so I wrote a few things down. I am currently on board the MV Hondias, and what's happening right now is very real for all of us here. We're not just a story. We're not just headlines. We're people with families,
Bro.
with lives.
Low-key, no one would have
No hate, but bro, we are people too. We got family, bro. Because of this time, I hope, bro, we don't have another part season 2 because 6 years ago it's a crazy year. 2020, no.
known about one's worried about. People aren't over a little world-stopping moment from 5 to 6 years ago
That's
and
okay.
don't
When it was
run it again.
2019.
It doesn't even take just this. Everyone was panicking when
Monkeypox.
they announced
Ew.
a new strain of COVID like monkeypox. In a way, the whole
Like, bro,
world
what?
has World War II soldier PTSD on anything happening. Instead of hearing a helicopter and having a heart attack thinking you're in the war field, we hear a new virus drop and have PTSD of Among Us and those
Among
TikToks
Us.
of which room you would sleep
Bro,
in the
I'm telling
hardest.
you,
And
Among
also
Us
the
back
lines
then.
he had in the videos what's really pissing people off. Because he said we're not just a story where people with families, lives, and friends. Like that
Well,
isn't
no,
everyone in the world. Are y'all the only ones with families and friends? No one even knew about the headlines of the story until you made this video, buddy. People's first reaction to hearing the story was saying
That
a
was
couple
all
of things.
freaking
One
out,
being
bro.
do not dock the Pope because we
Yeah,
don't
see,
want it to spread
no,
even
sir.
more.
No,
Other people
sir.
said just dock it at one country and don't let them leave until it's solved. There's also people saying, f it, 150 people versus a potential 8 billion person pandemic with a disease that's a 40% fatality rate, might I add, and can lay dormant in you without you knowing for weeks. In the wise words a man once said,
Be rapping now. Nuke the whole generation.
Yeah, see.
If it were up to me, I would drop an
2020.
atomic bomb on the whole generation.
Damn,
Y'all are
bro.
about to get so mad at me, and I know I don't post. Like this, I usually would post on my other page, but like, truthfully, sink the ship.
My God.
Sink the ship.
Let
Okay?
me
Sink the ship.
Twin.
Sink it.
My
I don't
God.
care. I've seen enough.
Bro, the ship, yo, this
Sink the fucking ship.
I better sink that ship like it's a game of Battleship.
Bro,
F2,
relax.
hit. I'm not even trying to be insensitive, but we cannot do this right now. We cannot do this right now.
No,
seems
sir.
like the general public
But everybody
takes
get
it as well.
PTSD.
The PTSD people have over COVID is beyond what people could think. If you said this pre-2020, people would have
Will
thought you
not
were
kill, I'm
crazy and
telling
a
you.
bad person. But now there's a lot of people saying they genuinely don't
So you got Shrek raising me up? I be saying Shrek all the time. You know I'm stuck. Let me stop.
care, whatever it takes to stop a potential pandemic. And even though scientists and health organizations are saying it's a low chance to turn into another COVID, didn't y'all say that last time?
Okay.
If there was some horrible
Yeah.
scenario where it did somehow turn into a pandemic, this would be way worse.
Yeah,
A
it's gonna be
40%
terrible,
fatality rate is diabolical. You got
Damn.
a 4 in 10 chance of dying. With
Oh.
COVID, unless if you were really old or really young, you didn't have to worry about it too much and could tank it. This would be a damn near mass extinction
You be
event
cooked,
in every
bro.
country, and there's still no cure. There's also other reasons I wouldn't want it to be
Oh
a
my God, my
pandemic,
nose.
at least in the US. There will be zero safety precautions set here. People could barely handle the last lockdown, and we're going insane every day. And obviously, while it sucked for everyone, it was for a reason. This time, people are just gonna keep going outside every day and passing it like no tomorrow. We can
Until you
guarantee
have
there
it.
wouldn't be a
Nah, I swear,
lockdown.
when they say, yo, stay inside the house, don't go outside, start walking. It's like sometimes some animals can have it or fly. So you don't know. So literally a mosquito can go into a human, suck the blood out, and come back to you, you know.
Like for you, I guess.
Oh,
It's not like the
damn.
check would do much, though. Right now, in this state of the economy and around the world, we have certain problems going in certain parts of the world. Like,
Yeah.
people literally would
The
not
purge.
be able to afford to go through it again. At least
No,
pre-COVID,
sir.
the economy was in decent shape. You
Shut
can
down,
guarantee, though,
sucker,
someone's
getting new
boss is going to say
movies.
no to remote work and tell them,
And we're getting GTA 6. Oh my god. Bro, if they delay GTA 6 because of this, I'm gonna be pissed. Over a new, like, bro.
for so long.
For
You
like
have to
a
learn how to
whole
communicate
year.
again because it just felt weird. Maybe some people did better, but I know for me it was rough. Transitioning
Bro.
from being on Discord all day
I
with
swear,
the homies
bro.
playing games, not touching a speck
Boring
of
as
sunlight,
hell,
to driving
bro.
places and hanging out in public was a bit of an adjustment. Some people say they still ain't recovered since back then. Yeah, if you still think you're recovering from your antisocialness from COVID,
like
you're probably
terrible.
It would also be horrible for the youth considering how much they got held back from it. Everyone older in
Yeah.
Gen Z just barely made it out. Only 30% of Gen Alpha kids can read proficiently currently. Throwing them in
Damn.
another lockdown in their childhood is going to be
Sucker.
a death sentence.
Yeah,
They might
for
end
real.
up being the most failed generation
Bro.
by society's problems. I got hit
Watching
by COVID in my
Skitty-Wop
junior
toilet.
/ senior year, but at least I can say growing up through my core development years, I was good. I couldn't imagine my first time trying to learn the ABCs was through a Zoom class. This
Zoom
time they're going to
class?
have AI too, so
I'm
all
not gonna lie with you, I fell asleep mid Zoom class. I swear I was awake, I fell asleep, wake up, was late at night. Like, bro, how?
the kids are going to cheat on their assignments. The
Using
methods
AI
people used to have
and-
to do in 2020 to cheat were absurd. We became scientists in our own ways. People
Yeah,
would
see.
pre-record them doing work.
Yeah,
on
we was
Zoom
doing
when they
some
were sleeping.
crazy back
this
then, but
fat
now
guy in
y'all-
my gym class in high school decided to pre-record himself working out and just played it on loop to pass his class. That fat guy
On
totally
loop?
wasn't me or anything.
Bro, that's kind of crazy.
I
I would
didn't
do the same
People
thing,
would
bro.
smear Vaseline on their cameras and tell the
Vaseline?
teacher the camera was broken so they could cheat. You don't
camera
need to
was
do all that.
broken,
Now
bro.
that we got ChatGPT, it'll do the work for you. I do
Yeah.
remember those Zoom times nostalgically, though. My teacher's classes
Oh, yeah.
got rated at least 7 times through the year. I'll end it off with some positive news though. The reason why health organizations and governments are saying this won't be COVID
Please
2.0
don't.
is because they have decades of research on this compared to COVID-19 that was brand new. So the world isn't starting with zero information on it and have to rush and figure out what to do. Also, since it's been contained to this one ship, it isn't jumping from hundreds of people to hundreds of people like before. If you were in the vicinity of someone with COVID, as you know, your fate to get it was guaranteed. I'll never
Yeah, it would
forget
be
the
cooked.
one time I got it. It was from one of my dumbass homies who decided to pull up to the group meet with it without telling any of our friends, and
Bro.
he gave it to literally everyone there.
It's like, you know, when you're walking there, you get a bite, and you just hide the bite
Hantavirus
until you
is
show
mainly
it.
people with romantic
Bro.
partners who get it, or being around someone who's sick with it. So if you're lonely and get no play, pat yourself on the back.
Bro,
You
be
may have just
calm.
prevented yourself from dying. Who
Yo,
knew
that
being
clap
a loser
scared
would
me,
save
bro.
me
What
and
the
you? COVID also spread way faster than this,
So
we would
fast.
see a lot more cases if it was like it. I remember waking up and checking COVID cases. It would go from 3 to 10
Damn,
to 200
damn.
to 1,000 to
1,000?
10,000. And technically a mutation
10,000?
could
Yo.
happen to the virus
Bro,
and a new one could
it's
pop
gonna
up.
be
But
a
most
zombie
studies show when
virus
a virus gets
sometime.
mutated, it either stays the same or
No,
turns into nothing.
we
At least
could.
hopefully that's the case, or humanity's in for one hell of an extinction event. Anyways, that's gonna be it.
Bro, but anyways, y'all, peace.